This is Mr. Clementine.
Have yourself
Over the past few Christmases, Mr. C has been delivering presents in Santa's place, because sometimes even Santa gets sick.
Let your heart
Mr. C works hard every minute of every hour of every day, each day of the year.
from now on.
He does so because when he was just a little Clementine, Christmas was his favorite time of year. And also because he's just a little too small for Santa's sleigh. Now, while Mrs. C has been away, Mrs. C has been waiting at home patiently for his return. She has been waiting for several Christmases. Her friends would often tell her to forget about him, but Mrs. C, she never listened to them.
Our troubles will be miles away.
Nevertheless, and as hard as she tried, Mrs. C felt that with each passing day, she remembered him just a little less.
Here we are.
She still dreamt about him every night,
Golden days,
and boy, how those dreams pleased her.
happy golden days.
But unfortunately, she always woke up. That's the worst
Faithful
bit.
friends who are dear to us.
Now every
gather
Christmas
near
day,
to
Mr. C would
us.
give Mrs. C a little piece of, yep, you've guessed it, a piece of Clementine. Now even whilst he has been away, Mr. C would always find some way or another of delivering these gifts to his wife.
We all will
But Mrs. C no longer cared for these gifts.
if the
She
fate
just wanted him to come home.
allows.
And so this year, Mrs. C decided to write Santa a letter, which went like
Hang a
this.
shining
Dear Santa, all I wish for this Christmas is for my very own Clementine to be returned to me. And then she went to bed, sad and lonely too, and indeed not very hopeful.
Here we are, as in olden days.
Now the next morning, she woke up to find a whole Clementine in her front room.
Of you.
It was accompanied by a letter which went like this. Dear Mrs. Clementine, I have noted your wish, and as you have been so patient, here's your very own Clementine. Ho ho ho, Santa. And as she finished reading the letter, Mrs. C began to cry. And this time she realized she couldn't stop.
Through the years,
But then something marvelous
we
began to
all
happen,
together.
as the Clementine began to unravel itself peel by peel. And in just a few short moments, Mrs. C could not believe what was in front of her eyes. It was her very own Mr. Clementine.
Upon the highest bough.
And neither of them had ever been so happy as that very moment when they laid eyes on each other again after God knows how many Christmases.
Have yourself
Merry Christmas, Mrs. Clementine, said Mr. Clementine.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Mr. Clementine, said Mrs. Clementine.
Now.
Happy holidays, folks.